it's Eileen Stapleton here.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnston. We are Your Life Movement. We just wanted to take you for a bit of a deep dive into and talking about the inner being, our inner core. We're always so focused on what happens on the outside of our core, our outside of our, the environment that we live in, our bodies, our everything. But I suppose the one thing in this crazy last couple of years, the one thing that I've realised over the last 12 months is the only thing we can really control is self, our inner being, and what that looks like, what that feels like, and what it takes to get centred and feel grounded and a bit more in control. And I think it'd be a great thing if we learned how to do this so we could share it with our children and young people, because I feel like a lot of the time they are not centred at all. How long? We're 45. Geez, it's taken us this long. Sorry, I gave away our age. It's taken us this long to understand that we have an inner being that we can build on and grow and tap into to help us along these stormy waters.
And I think a lot of it is also not only yourself, coming back to yourself, but that self-emotional regulation. So when you do come back to yourself, like you always say, stop, sit on the mat, get grounded, all those types of things, go to a quiet place. So instead of kind of knowing when you need to do that, instead
absolutely.
of flying off the handle at your children if they do something, and knowing, okay, I need to take a moment, take a breath, and get back centered, and then deal with the situation. But I think when you're spinning and when you're going around, it's so hard to know that you need to stop and you need to kind of come back to you, because it feels like it's counterproductive.
Yeah,
like, no, I gotta keep going. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I can't stop. And but it's that stopping that I think. I was talking to a friend and she was telling us that her child was given a is it like a snow globe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, glitter.
Yes.
They put glitter in a jar and then they shook it, and then they watched it settle, and it was almost like when you're all out of sorts.
Yes.
And then you're like that jar being shaken, and then
absolutely that feels
settle.
like it feels like that is what's happening. Your mind, your whole it's your balance is completely thrown out. So don't be a snow globe.
Yeah.
Don't be thrown around, because the world is actually throwing us curveballs all the time.
Yeah, even my parents rang the other day and they were like, "Did you know that we're in a depression? We're going to the worst. What's it called? Depression. What's it called when they?
Oh, like a recession.
A recession.
Yeah. Or the Great Depression. Yeah, that was a real thing.
Recession, depression.
Yeah, exactly. It's all doom and gloom basically.
Yes. And that's what the news wants you. The news is designed to tell you the worst thing that's happening, so you can control inside how you react, how you feel, how you parent.
Turn off the bloody TV.
Yeah, I know.
Step 1.
Don't watch the news.
Don't watch the news. Number 2.
It's all contrived.
It's contrived. It's controlling. There's a lot of stuff coming out now, and Brené Brown talks about it. It's about it's dehumanizing us, and it's ripping our core apart. People are starting to feel the effects of the last 3 years. Some are still not over it. Some have not made it to this point, sadly. And I guess what we know, that children feed off us. They're a product of our emotions and their environment often. So if we're okay and centered and know how to get through these next couple of years, because apparently, the worst is not over. So I guess we really need to prepare our inner being, ourself, and recognize that we really do have a strong spirit that we can call on, and we can really start to build on and grow and listen to that intuition. And I think that's what can guide us, not telling us that there is some scary pandemic going on that's going to rule your life and kill you. And I mean, the world is built on fear, and that when you switch off that TV, you'll realise, geez, that feels better.
Yeah.
You know, and you can start to reprogram yourself into a much more positive and healthy minded person. So shut out the crap.
I think, yeah, go inside.
Go inside.
Yeah, you're safe. You're
wonderful.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You've got all these abilities that you can call on. I had no idea I could sit for 5 minutes without moving. You know, I couldn't even get to 1 minute 2 years ago. And I can get to, I did 25 minutes the other day. And I just felt so good. I didn't do anything. I just sat on a big cushion looking out. I didn't have to do anything. But even that sense of stopping and grounding and centering calls on you to think heart, mind, body, soul.
And it's present. It brings you
Yeah.
right to this moment, because all we have is this moment. So being in the present, being in this moment is all we've got. So we may as well make it amazing and just really know that we listen to our gut. We even my daughter the other day went for a walk, and she said, "Oh, I felt really scared." She thought she saw someone really sketchy in a car, and she said she just ran. And I said, "Well, that's really good. You've got to listen to that," because
Yes.
she said, "Oh, I didn't know what happened, but that's how I felt." And I think it's really good to build that in our kids, so they know
Absolutely.
instinctively.
Instinctively.
Oh, I don't feel great. I don't feel right. And
Listen
so
to
that's
that
good.
feeling.
Yeah. There's, I mean, I'm sure he was probably fine. He was just waiting in his car. But and I'd rather her listen to that than feel like, oh, I feel stupid.
So we've got a few things we want to talk about later then in our next coming couple of videos, and that is flow, knowing what that is, and also too the fight, flight, freeze in adults and children. I think that's a really interesting one to explore later.
But anyway, have a great day, and make sure you are tuning into yourself.
Yes.
Have a good one. Bye.